thing that I want to point out. You guys did a great job last night. I wasn't able to watch because I was getting ready for the 5 o'clock show, but I heard a lot of good feedback on what you guys did. So this is what the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show really has become. We're here every day from 11 to 1, and we're talking all things Cleveland sports. But when things break, and this is a perfect example of it, it was midday. It was mid-afternoon, whatever time it was. You guys scrambled. It's like F-18s. Get them up in the air. We got a problem. Wherever you guys were, and you were in various places, within minutes, the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show was blasting out a signal, and over 1,000 viewers almost instantly.
Yes.
And you maintained that number so that
it's 16,000 viewers already by this
It's
morning.
unbelievable. It really
is. Great. It was the three of us and Mikey McNuggets. Tyvis was on for a little while.
I saw Tyvis checked in for a minute. You were on, Brad.
Yeah. G. Bush and I were Winnie the Pooh in it.
For those that didn't watch that, we'll quick give the thumbnail thoughts because we will get to Ohio State football. My quick thought on it is the Cavaliers have seen what the Browns are doing, and they're putting all their chips right to the middle of the table. They know that the iron is hot. They know they've got a very talented young team. They knew that the cost of getting that player that was the missing piece. And we all said they're a missing piece away from being a contender.
Right.
Donovan Mitchell is that missing piece. I don't even look at the price. I don't look at the price.
Yeah,
because
this could turn out to be a disaster down the line, but I would do it any day of the week.
If Abaji ends up being a superstar player, yes.
Plus,
and the lack of picks, I know that you say that their picks, get rid of them. When you look down the road and you've got one first-round draft pick until 2029.
Right, well, until 2030 because they gave up
I thought they had the 24 and the 29.
Yeah, they do.
No, they traded the 25, the 27, and the 29 as part of the deal.
28.
And then they got two swaps in there.
The swaps in there.
The swaps are 26 and 28. The 29 they gave up. You can't trade back.
OG noticed when you talk about them teams.
Goes right, by the way, on the pick.
So I thought they had the 29. I read a whole article last night that said they did have the 29.
No.
So
they don't.
Let's get off the Capitol.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You don't care about it, do you?
No.
I don't
I'm
either.
trying to win.
Because you're built for now, right? The way the league is structured now, there's free agent movement, player movement. I don't care if you're under contract or not. People are moving here in 3 to 4 years. So your window is now. You've got this young talent here. We knew we were a piece away, right? And Sexton wasn't going to fill the bill because he didn't want to accept the role that they wanted to give him. So then at this point, you go to the market. I by no means thought that we were ever a player in the Donovan Mitchell conversation.
I didn't either. I thought it was a done deal. He was going to the Knicks.
So you tell me you gave up Colin Sexton, basically,
which we knew was on the block.
You weren't going to give a contract to,
right?
Laurie Marketing,
you had to give away for cap reasons.
You
did.
Your first round pick, Abaji.
Yeah. That's the one that I think most about.
Well, we don't know because you don't know how it plays out, but you're going to have to give them something to get something.
You do. Right? You're absolutely right.
Because down the line, 7 years from now, I could be hot garbage.
Yeah, you're right. Those picks might be good in 2027 and 2029. Those picks might be great for Utah, but who cares? You got a top 20 NBA player. You now have four of the top 40 players in the NBA. You have 3 guys that were All-Stars last year, and the only guy who wasn't is Mobley, who we all think is going to be the best player on this team eventually.
Yeah.
So you got 4-star players. Now, the Eastern Conference is loaded. This doesn't guarantee
It's almost like the Browns in the AFC.
Yeah. Right.
I feel the same way about that.
You punched a ticket to be in the mix.
You did. Yeah. And that's all you
mix.
want. That's what the fan base wants.
Jay, to your point, but pressure creates pressure for other teams. So the Browns have upped the ante, right, in this town.
Yeah.
Look, the Guardians are on the rise.
Yeah.
Right? The Cavaliers not going to be left out the mix. Like, wait a minute, hold on.
Yeah, we want our seat at the table.
The other thing you see was created here with the moves of all our organizations, Cleveland now is looking like it's becoming a destination that I can go to. Because there were years here that nobody would come through here because they're like, I can't go to Cleveland.
Yeah. Unless LeBron was here. When LeBron was on the roster, it was different.
Even when LeBron was on the roster, because a player of that magnitude, I felt like.
Do you feel Kevin Love comes here willy-nilly, open arms if LeBron's not on the roster?
I
know, but
bailed out of Minnesota.
He's also an LA guy. I don't think the Cavs ever get Kevin Love if LeBron's not here.
So the thing I would tell you, I would tell you this. That has been eradicated. We are now in a position where we were, as a team, were fun to watch, surprising. We got to the play-in, and when it came down the stretch, you didn't have people that could make.
What's your expectation for next season and then the following season?
Well, I think that they are in position to be a top 4 team in the Eastern Conference.
Clearly.
Right?
But are you disappointed if they don't make the East semifinals, the East finals?
Well, here. I never get that far because your injuries, everything else can play in the way. I just want us to be in position. We need a go-to guy.
Yeah.
Down the stretch that I can say, Bull, I'm going to give you the ball.
Yeah.
Make me a play.
Sure, and he can do that.
I'm disappointed if they don't win at least
we did
one
not
round.
have
I'll
that.
tell you this.
Oh, I'm massively disappointed if they don't win one. For me, they've got to go to the semifinals this year. They've got that talent.
Well, here's the thing. In the East, everybody is stacked. They got
There's 8 good
studs.
teams.
There's 8 good.
teams.
Now, here's the thing that we learned about the Cavs last year. When it got down to the nitty-gritty and it was playing games, which were essentially playoff games, people kicked it up another notch.
And the Cavs didn't have a guy that could score the ball when they needed to.
That playoff game is different. Like, guys are shot makers. It don't matter. Shot hands, everything. Everybody had one. Trae Young, Kyrie, Tatum, Brown, all those guys. The Cavs literally have one of them dudes that now you can say, oh, okay, it's tight. Here you go. Roll that out.
So are you with us? Like, if they don't make the semifinals this year, it's a disappointment?
No, I won't say that because it's that good. It's that good. Because we didn't even talk about Milwaukee. We have not talked about the Sixers.
Boston went
to the finals.
Boston,
Miami,
Brooklyn,
good.
Here, so without
Atlanta added DeJounte Murray.
It's a gauntlet.
Without Donovan Mitchell, I don't know we even having a conversation.
No.
Cracking the code here.
Yeah.
Right. Now we're cracking the code. The good thing I don't know if you follow this. Donovan Mitchell found out when he was on the golf course yesterday.
I know.
And he was
very, very excited.
Yeah.
Brian Windhurst, they said they did some feelers, and they said that he said he would be excited to go to Cleveland if they kept their big three.
He tweeted a picture of him in a Cavs jersey as a kid.
Yep.
Ricky Rubio tweeted something that I didn't get what he was saying exactly. It must be an inside thing between them. And Donovan Mitchell was like pumped up. I mean, you think about what the Cavs have now. Like, I don't know. We were talking about yesterday.
There it is.
Right. I don't know who their 5th starter is. I don't know if it's Okoro, maybe even Kevin Love back in the starting lineup. I don't know. But like, think about the amount of guys you have that could definitely score 20 points in a game. Like, you have your 4 stars.
Yeah.
Plus Kevin Love. Plus what's his name? Who they got from Indiana last year? His name
LeVert.
Like, that's 6 guys that can score 20 points on any night.
If it's Okoro, he turns 26. Donovan Mitchell turns 26 this week.
Next coming week, yeah.
He'll be the oldest starter in the lineup, and he's barely 26.
I know, it's amazing.
And this looks like an all-star lineup.
Right.
It does.
It's really incredible when you think about where one move, and all of a sudden, the excitement for Cavalier basketball is, I'm not going to say LeBron level, but it's higher than it's been since the early 90s for any non-LeBron team.
I would tell you that I think we're still one reserve player away. The 3, we got to figure out what you're doing with the 3.
You got a name for us? Who do you think?
Well, I tell Melo every day, right? Because I need a guy off the bench. Because when I get to the playoffs are so different. It's not about what I did in 82 games this season.
You're right.
It is how I attack Jay's team today.
Sure.
And I got to be Jay's team 4 out of 7 times.
Yep.
Right? And how I do that usually with firepower. Right. I have to be scared of us. Down the stretch last year, I didn't feel that anybody was scared of the Cavaliers down the stretch in the playoffs. Now we had a guy like Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
I got to respect this because
here's one concern that I have.
That's why I said the Melo piece.
And it's a mild concern, but this is something that Jim Donovan brought up yesterday on our 5 o'clock show when we were talking about it. Now, I know it's out of necessity that he's done this in Utah, but he is a ball-dominant scorer.
Yes.
And I wonder how he fits in with these other guys. I think it's going to take probably until December or January before all of these parts fit together. Yeah. But that's my only concern. He's been so used to saying, jump on my back, let's go. He does have guys on this roster that he'll need to share the rock with.
He lost early in the playoffs. I'm sure he's learned from that and would,
A lot of young players do that early on. Jordan did it early on.
Be clear. It was nothing to Utah.
No, that's why I pointed that out. That's why I pointed that out.
Down the stretch, when they needed plays, man, Koby was making no plays.
Right, he was the only guy.
Give it to Donovan Mitchell, you make the plays.
And
are you worried about that at all, Brad?
I'm not worried about it because in this, as you get older in life, I don't want to do all this work.
Sure.
Listen,
Jordan went through that whole
thing. I played on a
thing.
team with Isaiah Thomas and Joe Dumars in the backcourt. Now, Isaiah, when he got to Detroit, he was the ball-dominant guy.
Yeah, he was.
He was the guy doing all the work. And then when Joe came along, he was easy, like, okay, Joe, do some of the work, and then I'll come in here and do my – you'll learn here because I give less, but I get more, right? I involve every one of us, and guess what? The show gets better, right?
All right, I want you to take Donovan under your wing when he gets here, and I want you to tell him that story.
He's going to find out because I tell you why. J.B. Bickerstaff, the son of my old coach Bernie Bickerstaff, we were on a team in Seattle full of them. J.B. knows exactly what to do and what to say. Right?
Yeah.
This is an old school setup. And I like, what? Cleveland got a player in their prime. We're not getting somebody at 34, 35 years old at the end of the line here.
And they all fit. You have 2 rim protectors.
Yep.
Before, you had small guards. Remember Delonte West and Mo Williams, small guards, but they only had Z back there. The Cavs have 2 rim protectors, high defensive IQ. They'll be able to erase a lot of the stuff that they ain't doing. And this team actually reminds me a little bit of the Pistons. They just need a guy like Rodman to come in that knows his role, defense, and I think that'll put them right on the
I think they need a forward that can defend.
Yeah.
They definitely need that.
They definitely need that. But
that's why I asked Brad, do you have anybody in mind outside of?
I would tell you, I would like to strengthen the bench defensively a little bit better.
Yeah.
I'd like to get some punch off the bench. That's why I say Melo. But I tell you what, the pickup of Lopez is good. And Mobley's brother is good.
I forgot about that one.
This thing is about to get real good.
No, that's right.
Here, my days on the station afterwards are going to be real good.
By the way, real quick before we go to McNuggets, like the backcourt, I was saying this yesterday, kind of like, in a way, it's like Portland's backcourt, right? They had the 2 small point guards, but they couldn't really go anywhere in the playoffs because they had nothing up front. So the Cavs have the 2 small point guards, and they got to go a little more before they was quite as good as what Portland was, but they're right there, and yet we have two great post players, or one great one and one's becoming great. But if Jared Allen is your 4th best player,
jeez.
Yeah.
I mean, how many teams have a 4th best player?
I'm telling you, I am disappointed if they don't win a playoff series.
Yeah.
Oh, they got
That's my question, Jay. We got one quick question before we bring in Paul Keels here.
Yeah.
Are the Cavs a top 4 team in the East right now?
I think they are. That's why I'd be disappointed if they don't win a series.
Talent-wise, they are, but they don't have the experience of a lot of those other teams.
But by the time April rolls around, they'll have a full season playing together.
Yeah.
I just look at the talent, guys. There are teams with 2 better players than we do.
Right.
I'm not sure there's a team. No, there probably is at least one. We've got 4 really, really good players, and not a lot of teams have that.
No, that's true.
I think they're sitting between 4 and 5. I like Milwaukee. I think the Sixers are great. Boston is great. That's the top 3 right there. But then you got in that 4 or 5, you got Brooklyn. You got the Atlanta Hawks who've gotten better.
Brooklyn's low key. I think Brooklyn could end up being some people's favorites.
Yeah.
Brooklyn could end up
if they
being
ever
1
figure
seed
it out.
10.
I agree with you. If they ever figure it out, the chemistry experiment, I think they're going to be dangerous.
Atlanta got better. Toronto's still decent.
It's like the AFC.
Yeah, it really is.
I don't think any more teams in this league have more size than the Cavaliers.
No, but I think the Cavs are. I agree with you. I think they're like 4 or 5.
Lopez, Mobley, Jared Allen, Love.
Yeah.
And
This is deep, guys.
The Eastern Conference is loaded. The
Yeah.
competition in the East this year is going to
Loaded.
be
It's gonna
almost
great,
as
Mike.
delicious.
The East is better for the first
Built Bar. We got a Built Bar mention.
The East is better than the West. Go ahead, Mike.
East is way better than the West.
Yeah.
Way better.
And just like Built Bars are better than the other power bars that you can get as you wake up in the morning. If you haven't tried the Built Bar Puffs yet, y'all are missing out. They're so good that the box we got
What are
upstairs,
they called? Built Bar?
Built Bar Puffs. The new
Chunk
product.
Puffs, baby.
They're so good that I had to hide them from Anthony and Earl because they started stealing them from me. They wanted the cookie dough chunk puffs because they're only 160 calories with 15 grams of protein. I said, no way, guys. It's bulk season. I need all of those. Go to built.com. Use promo code LOCKEDON15. Get 15% off. And now it's time to talk a little Ohio State Buckeyes.
Yes,